Hey, what's up guys? What's going on? In this video I wanted to talk about a few things that I've learned about low back injuries and a few things that you should know about disc bulges and disc herniations and some of their implications for future problems down the road. So when someone develops a disc bulge or disc herniation, there is a series of events that could perhaps occur. And what I'm referring to is that, sure, when you get someone that has a disc herniation, say it's posterior lateral, that could maybe impinge on a nerve root, cause pain. But another thing to think about more long term is that if you have a disc bulge or disc herniation, the mechanics of the spine are going to be disrupted. So if you were to think about if you had a skyscraper building and it's built with, you have concrete walls, beams and whatnot, but in maybe one little section at the base, there's some beams that are removed. So when those beams are removed, the forces that are holding the skyscraper up, those forces are going to be administered, and there's going to be one side that's going to maybe have some instability and it's going to be weak, and in order to compensate for that, other areas of the base are going to have to pick up for that. And that's what essentially occurs with the spine when you develop maybe a disc bulge, disc herniation, or maybe you have a loss of disc height. So I'm going to use this model here, and with this model here, what we can see is that there's a bit of a loss of disc height, and the spine here is hypermobile. So we're getting a lot of motion at the facet joints here. So as you can see, we get a lot of motion here. Now, why this is important to understand is because now that we have more motion here, the facets now that they're moving more, they're going to be taking on a lot more stress. So over time, we might get some osteoarthrosis developing, and as a result, these joints here on the back now may lock up, and now instead of this being hypermobile, it's literally locked into place and we've lost that mobility because the facet joints are all locked up. Now, once that happens though, the segment above now may have to compensate for that lack of mobility here. So now this area or this spine may start moving a little bit more, or it may become more mobile. And then as a result, we get a series of events occurring. We may get some arthritic changes developing on the facets, and that kind of event just can continue over the time. Now, why that's important is because if you have maybe some existing issues, maybe a disc bulge, disc herniation, if you're looking at preventing things, this is where things like spine stabilization exercises, core endurance exercises may help. Because if we can develop the core musculature, the muscles that support the spine, and we can get one to properly brace and educate them about that, we can perhaps add some stability to the spine and to help maybe prevent some of these issues from developing. Because once we start getting that hypermobility or we get that osteoarthrosis developing, now we have some new problems occurring. And the reason this all develops is because we have a disruption in the mechanics of the spine. We have a disc bulge, disc herniation, maybe a loss of disc height that now is altering the way forces are administered to the spine, and compensation needs to occur. So it's a series of events that one needs to think about and consider when it comes to disc issues or just any sort of kind of spine mechanical issue that one may experience. So the point being is I just wanted to educate you about this future problem that can occur for anyone that has disc issues or any kind of low back problems for the future in terms of preventing any future problems from developing. Because you also need to think about it. If you were to load somebody up, say with heavy squats, just put a barbell on their back, it could even be a shoulder press or something. Think about how the forces are moving through the spine with someone that may have, say, a disc issue, maybe some facet issues, or a combination. Think about what may be occurring. At the same time, you have to also think about the positions that you're in. Whether it's if you're doing an overhead press and you shoot into lumbar extension, that's going to really beat up on your facet joints. Or if you're squatting and you get that butt wink at the bottom, think about how the forces are going to change the mechanics with regards to the spine and everything. So it's something that people need to just understand and be educated about. And I'm just hoping to just with this video is to kind of open your eyes to some of the future problems that can develop with someone that may have a disc issue or disc herniation that may occur down the road. Now, people may not have these problems right away, but it's something maybe 10, 20 years down the road that you may want to think about and consider. And like I mentioned, core endurance exercises, spine stabilization exercises, those are going to be very important in applying to someone's program in terms of building up a better foundation for the spine to perhaps tolerate load or various activities that you may want to do. So that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. And if you guys are looking for more information, I would highly recommend you guys check out Dr. Stuart McGill. This is where I primarily learn a lot of my knowledge about the spine from Dr. Stuart McGill himself, and just going through my own back issues. This has obviously become personal to me, and I want to know as much about the spine as possible and how it relates to exercise, how it gets injured, and how we can perhaps work around certain injuries and train without making issues worse and perhaps making things better. So, with that being said, if you have any questions as well, be sure to leave them below. And until next time, guys, I wish you guys all the best, and hopefully you found this video helpful. Take care. See you later.